right. Hey, how's it, everybody? It is 5 p.m. West Coast time. Gosh, I don't know why I have such a problem with subtracting 3 hours from 5, but that means it's 2 in Hawaii. It's 8 on the East Coast and 7 p.m. for our Central Time folk. Math is hard. It looks like we've got West Coast, East Coast, and Central Time people all in the house. Good to see you, Poppy Shaney. Good to see you, Gina. Good to see you, E-Music. And we've got Elaine as well, coming in from the complicated math place called Hawaii. I am Matt Statter, and this is Chatter with Statter, and boy, we actually have something to talk about today. Hopefully, we will be able to come up with the most perfect of perfect names. But before we do that, I have to say, okay, Poppy Shaney, Central Time reppin', all right there in Dallas, right on. Excellent. Okay, so let's get this party started, shall we? Okay, now, I'm not sure if Shock wants us to talk about parrot nose digging, or if she's observing parrot nose digging, or perhaps if she's taking part in parrot nose digging. A little bit curious about that, Shock, but if you want to keep it a secret, that's fine. That is fine. And Poppy, what is going on in Texas? I assume something official and hopefully training oriented, not fire oriented per se, but you're not responsible for the fires in Texas yet, are you? And let's see here. Shock, if we are band naming. Oh, we're not band naming. No. And let's see here. Oh, Poppy is doing recurrent training in the simulator. Excellent. Good to know. There's no fires we put out that you know of in the Texas area. No, Shock. What we are going to be hopefully helping to name is a nonprofit group that is going to be forming in Washington, and I got word of this group through Hawaiians in Washington, Ohana, which is where we are hanging out these days, especially to advertise this particular show that's going to be going on in Renton. One of the main places that we're trying to advertise through is Facebook and other social medias, and the Hawaiians in Washington group is one of the main groups that we are focusing on. So one of the people in that group is starting a nonprofit to help out local other Hawaiian people and other people in the Washington state area for, when they've got trouble making ends meet during the holiday times, Thanksgiving and Christmas specifically. Really Christmas specifically, but she did seem to be open to, basically the other, winter holidays, as in Thanksgiving and maybe even some Halloweens, etc. But she wasn't sure what she should name the nonprofit group. And so I suggested to her, why not All in the Ohana? Because it shows that it's a Hawaiian group that, takes care of family. Well, she said that she wanted something a little bit more Christmassy, or a little bit more, she said holiday, a little more holiday themed, a little more seasonally themed or whatever. So then I said, Santa wears slippas. And she liked that. In fact, a couple people liked Santa wears slippas. But before the name is decided upon, they kind of wanted, a bunch of different names to think about. And so, with all of this in mind, if all y'all can get your little brain gears gearing up and your cog wheels cogging up, because that's how they work, right? If you've got any ideas, then I told her that I was going to be running this past all y'all, and I'd get back to her with what the scatterbox brain might have come up with. And yes, indeedy, Poppy Shaney, you do have your tickets for the Renton show. I'm so excited. So far, I've heard of a couple different people that are buying them or that have already bought them from the gang. And then a couple of my friends apparently are even going to buy tickets. And Gina, Santa Surfs, I like that. And I'm writing it. No, I'm not writing it down. I indented it down. My ink ran out, but I can sort of see what that says. So yeah, Santa Surfs, there we go. Keep them coming, guys. Keep them coming. Because this might spur other ideas that they have that they'll be able to run with, or they might grab, these ideas. But getting back to what Poppy Shaney and I were just talking about, the Daily Pidgin Roadshow with Andy and James and Augie, and then me. If you guys are vaguely thinking about coming to the show, let me just give you perspective. This show is taking place in Renton, which is probably 5 miles from the airport. And then the airport, as you know, as most airport areas have, tons of lodging options. And there is actually lodging that's kind of close to the venue as well. So here we go to give you, because you know what's coming next, right? You know it's going to be a map. All right, so here is a map of some key points. Yes, Andre, a map. Good to see you, Andre. So here is a map of the area. So circled in red on the far left is the Seattle Tacoma International Airport. And then all of the little green X's, the green circle, the green X, these are all places that have hotels. I circled the DoubleTree by Hilton because it's a Hilton hotel and it's fancy. But all the X's up that strip, there's tons of different hotels up there. And then the X up by the circled red spot on the right-hand side. So in the upper area, it's the Jimi Hendrix Memorial. So you've probably, Andre, since you've been to the Jimi Hendrix Memorial, you've been past where this theater is. So where I've circled, even though it says Henry Moses Aquatic Center, that's actually, that is a multi-use complex, and that is where the theater is. If we zoomed in, it would have the theater listed, but the Henry Moses Aquatic Center with the green dot with the red circle around it, that is the location of the venue for all intents and purposes. And as you can see, it's in Renton. I've underlined Renton in red. So, and then all the green areas, little bright lime green X's and stuff, that is lodging. Now, I told Poppy Shaney that the venue was probably like 5 to 8 miles from the airport. I'm actually thinking it's more like 4 to 6 miles from the airport. But, whatever. I'm not saying that it's close enough that you can just Uber. You might want to rent a car. On the other hand, lodging, airport, and venue are very close together, and so you might not want to rent a car, and you could just literally fly in and fly out, Uber it, maybe get a hotel for the night if you want. And Poppy Shaney, that's not exactly the map that I sent you. The map I sent Poppy Shaney went a little bit further north to include the Museum of Flight, because I thought that Museum of Flight might be right up Poppy Shaney's alley. If all y'all are interested in where the Museum of Flight is, I can definitely give you a map. And so yes, Poppy, let's say it's less than 10 miles. Yes, it is. I can definitely guarantee it is less than 10 miles. And Pussycat, by the way, good to see you here. And Gina, the tickets, I believe, are $36 or $46. I do not know there's two prices for the tickets, $36 and $46. Or maybe it's $38 and $48. Honestly, I cannot tell you. if it's that. It's one of those two. But I don't know what the difference is between the $36 and the $46 one. Like, it's like, is it the first 15 rows that are the cheaper or that are the expensive ones? I'm not sure what, it's a 300 seat venue. It's a theater that basically you're going to have an unobstructed view no matter what seat. And frankly, when it comes to comedy, sometimes you don't want to be in the front row. I mean, I'm not saying that Andy or James are going to pick on ya, but, so let's see here. Okay, so Poppy Shaney, it's 36 and 46. 46 is premium and 36 is general admission. So I'm assuming that 46 has actual reserved seats. Poppy, you would probably be the better one to know, to guide us on this since you actually have purchased the tickets. I'm guessing the 46 premium is for like reserved, and then 36 is just like first come, first serve or something. I don't really know. But Poppy at least came in with the full on real deal 36 and 46. You can get the tickets. You can get the tickets at andyboomatai.com, or if you just go to Eventbrite, and search Andy Boomatai, it'll pop up. There are two different shows. So there's the early show and then there's the late show. I don't know which show Poppy Shaney bought tickets for. I do know that that Patrick, who hangs out on the Daily Pidgin, who Andy has known since Patrick was like 9 years old or something, he got tickets to the early show. So okay, cool, Poppy Shaney. It didn't actually assign you an actual seat number. So I'm going to guess, Bubba, you bought for both shows. Oh my goodness. Okay, so Poppy will be there no matter what. Every show, he was going to be the front row center. You're going to be the new front row center, babe, instead of Felicia, I think. So Poppy Shaney will be there no matter what time you decide to show up, you guys. But, Pussycat, I look super stoned on that poster, and I don't know why, because if it's one thing I learned early on, do not smoke anything before the show. And so how he got, that screenshot that he grabbed, I'm sure he was trying to get me with a shaka, but boy, man, that mid-blink is just a brutal, brutal shot. But that's okay. And hey, Blazing Jake Yoga, good to see you. So glad you can be here on Chatter with Statter. We are right now, I'm sure you probably know about this, but in case you don't, right now we are talking about Andy Boomatai's first show on the continental United States since before the pandemic. He is coming to Seattle, Renton, Washington, with James Monet and Augie T, and I will be emceeing, actually, and it's August 19th, 2 shows, 6 p.m., 9 p.m., and so if you're feeling rich, and you guys want to come out and check out the show, I don't know if your little one would be very interested in the comedy show, but Jake, you and Blaze might be interested. So I would be super, it would be super awesome if you could come. And Blaze and Jake, here's the deal, dude. Andy doesn't want to do a whole lot of traditional, like advertising, putting out money for radio ads, doing radio promotions before the show. So Blaze, if you and Jake, if you can, or actually I think I'm probably talking to Jake, if you can get a hold of or coordinate with the Hawaiians in Miami, Hawaiians in Florida, any kind of social media groups, and get a buzz going there in regards to an Andy Boomatai show, I have no doubt that Andy would love to go there, because I think the bigger plan is if this Seattle show works out, then Andy will be taking this road show to various and assorted cities that have, good Hawaiian populations that are that can create a buzz within themselves. So there's not a lot of time, energy, or effort spent, purchasing radio ads. And radio ads these days are of questionable, effectiveness anyway. So So, and I know that, Jake, you do some promoting, I mean, that is kind of like what you do, if I remember correctly. So, so if you started to get a little sizzle in the Miami area, I have no doubt in my mind that Andy would hop on that stove real darn quick. And, by the way, I'm not sure I said hello to Pussycat. And I think I might have, but I might not have, but I'm saying it again. And then, you guys, even though we're talking about Andy Bumatai, he's not going to be on. All right. C. Honda just says, found out that Andy's sick and will cancel tomorrow's stream. Sorry, peeps. Well, we're the first to know. And so, I guess we won't be hanging out tomorrow with Andy Bumatai, which is good to know. Thank you so much, C. Honda, for coming in and giving us this heads up. Probably one of the best places to give the heads up, get the word out. And, yeah, Jake, honestly, I think that you could, if this Seattle fiasco flops and turns into a fiasco, right now it's not a fiasco, but if Seattle totally flops, then what I'm telling you is a moot point. But if Seattle is even remotely successful, you would be quintessential in getting a success in Miami or Orlando or wherever the main city would be that would be the most receptive and easy for. I have no doubt that that Andy would be open to do it. It sounds like there's a Hawaiians in Oklahoma group that's like super stoked to get Andy to come out, and so if Andy's willing to like go to Oklahoma, then I'm thinking he'd be more than willing to keep on heading, over to Miami or Orlando or wherever. So, thank you so much, Jake, for it will be successful. The spirit of aloha always prevails. That is exactly the vibe we are going for. And so, fingers crossed this is going to happen. This is going to happen. Fingers crossed it's going to happen and explode and basically go all over the country. Because, Andy's back on that saddle again, and gotta encourage him to ride, because there was a minute when he thought he was done, right? And now he's back willing to do it. And so let's get him doing it. And so let's see here. Andre, thank you so much for gifting that Pussycat sub. And Cindy Kraus snuck in. So good to see you, Cindy. And Poppy Shaney, it looks like you have got to go to the Lazy Dog for dinner. Okay, well, you lazy dog, you have a good meal. Maybe chew on a steak bone. Enjoy yourself. And I'm so glad you could be here, even if just for a minute. All right, so that is the let's see. Let me see if I've missed too much. Okay, so that is the scoop on the Stuffuses. So for the Renton show, the tickets are already on sale and they're already selling. So be sure to grab them if you're thinking about it. And then I'm going to circle back around. So this Renton show, a lot of the promotion is going on through the Hawaiians in Washington, Ohana. And there's a member in Hawaiians in Washington, Ohana that wants to start a nonprofit for low-income Hawaiians displaced Hawaiians, as it were, displaced locals in Washington for their the holiday times. So, if any of y'all have an idea for what that nonprofit could be called, so far we've got Santa Surfs and we've got Santa Wears Slippers. And then I also put out All in the Ohana, but that one's already, the nonprofit person was like, no, I don't like that. I personally think All in the Ohana is better because it leaves the name of the nonprofit open for other stuff besides Christmas help, but I'm not the one organizing it, so I'm not the one who gets the final say. So Santa Wears Slippers and Santa Surfs. There we go. Those are the two we've got so far. Anything else? Let me know. Cindy Kraus. So now Shock, Snowhana. Oh, I like. This pen doesn't work. Hold on, I gotta write that one down. Snow. Okay, cool. I like it. My best guess is they're gonna be like, that's too smart for people, but I like it a lot. And then Cindy Krause, any idea how much tickets are? Yes, they are $36 or they're $46. There's two different, there's the premium seats and then there's the general admission seats. I don't know what the difference between the two is. I'm assuming the premium are like the first X number of rows and then the rest are the rest, but I don't have any idea. So I can't answer that really, but 36 and 46, that much I can tell you. And then Snow Hana Ho, that could work too, actually. Yeah, okay, it has been written. So I'm gonna throw these to the person who's working to get this nonprofit organized, and hopefully they'll grab one of these names, or hopefully one of these names will excite them or inspire them to the name they finally land on. All right, had to pause for my pamplemousse. Okay, so you guys, yesterday we watched at Satterbox at the Cinema a great movie called Dogma. I was going to show you it, but, I can't find it, so I'm not going to show you it, but it doesn't matter because we already saw it. And it sounded like a lot of you had never seen that movie before, so I'm super stoked that we were able to share it together. Now, here is a movie. I know, Jake, isn't Dogma such a great movie? I haven't seen it in so long that when I watched it again last night, I had forgotten just how much I love that movie, and I honestly thought about watching it for a second time after Satterbox at the Cinema was over last night, just because. And Alanis Morissette as God is so perfect, and honestly, I know that this is getting a little, deep with religion, and we try not to be deep, we try to be fluffy. But when the main character, the last scion, asked her, what is the reason that we're here? And she just pushed her nose and made that burp noise. I thought that was the perfect answer, because basically what that said to me was, you're here just to be here. Like, don't worry about why you're here. You're here to be here, and that's the reason why you're here, is just to be here. And I think that little boop at the end of the little boop at the end of the nose was such a perfect response, because everybody can interpret what that little boop meant to them. And and snow. And okay, so let's see here. Gina, Snokus, a mashup of snow and the Hawaiian word for help. What's the Hawaiian word for help? Yeah, what's the Hawaiian word? Oh, so kukua. Okay. Yeah, okay, so do you mean snokua? You must mean snokua. Because I was like, snokus, but snokua. Now see, snokua, that I understand. Yeah, A and S right next to each other are the bane of my existence. So, okay, cool. Now I know what you're saying. I get it. Now, I totally get it now. Like, it's because I was like, well, I thought kokua was, but I don't see how that works. But if you add the A instead of the S, then everything makes sense. Yeah, shock, exactly. Snokua. Got it. It is written down. We'll throw this out to them. And Blaze and Jake Yoga, yeah. Matt Damon and Ben Affleck are amazing together. They've been friends since forever, right? So obviously they have, they're obviously going to work off each other so well. But in that movie, like, I cannot think of a better pair of actors to play Loki and Bartleby. Like, the casting of that was such perfection. I mean, oh yeah. Such perfection. So I'm glad that you guys did enjoy it, and it looks like I at least turned Cindy Krause onto that movie as a super fan, but hopefully a couple other people were turned into super fans, and it probably will end up being a repeat on Satterbox at the cinema sometime eventually. Obviously, we've had repeats before, and I try not to do them very often. Like, I generally try to wait a year, although I do think there was one movie that I didn't wait a year, but I could be lying, and that's okay. It's not on purpose. But what I do know, hey, as an Easter special, Dogma would fit. True, but I like my Guardians of the Galaxy. No, I like my Rise of the Guardians as the Easter. Rise of the Guardians, I think, was the movie that I played, actually, now that I think about it. I think I played Rise of the Guardians closer than 12 Months Apart. And, yeah, I do like bunnies. Everybody likes bunnies. But I like my Rise of the Guardians as the Easter movie, because it actually does take place over Easter. I mean, okay, it's an animated movie, so it doesn't actually take place. I understand. And, Blaze and Jake Yoga, have I seen seen Air, the Ben Affleck movie about the Nike story? No, I have not seen that movie yet, but it does intrigue me. I really would like to see it. However, I have a mental block with, this is a controversial opinion, but I actually really resent Michael Jordan for introducing his Air Jordans, because his Air Jordan sneaker was the first sneaker that got people mugged for their shoes, that the shoes became so flippin' expensive that it just became a standard of this stupid classist. It's just a dumb consumer culture as far as I'm concerned. But the story behind it does look fascinating, and I'm very curious about it. But to this day, I know that Michael Jordan is seen as like the purest of the pure and the most awesome of the awesome, but everyone has a shadow, and to me, that is his shadow legacy. And Andre, in many hoods, they would steal your shoes before Jordans. Okay, well, then, maybe I can't hold Michael Jordan accountable for that, but I still just, he just is the symbol of consumer culture that I just cannot get behind. But that's my little, snarky snarkerness, and basically, it's like, am I being petty? Yes, I'm being so petty, but whatever, there you go, call me a petty Betty. And so there you have it. But that movie, oddly enough, and then wasn't Matt Damon in a movie about the and Ben Affleck might have had something to do with this movie as well. Wasn't the movie, I don't remember what it was called. I think it might have been called Mustang versus Ferrari, maybe? It was the story behind the Shelby Mustang, right? And wasn't Matt Damon in that? And so, I really wanted to see that one too. And I know that Matt Damon's in the Air movie as well. I really like the reenactments of, the movie reenactments of, historical random stuff, like the car, the car rivalry, or the start of the shoe, or what was the other one? I think Ben Affleck, didn't Ben Affleck make a movie about getting the Americans in hostage in Iran out, and how they posed as a Canadian, they posed as a Canadian filmmaker team to get into the country, and this, that, and the other thing. I can't remember. I want to say Argo or something, but I'm really pretty sure I'm making that up. I want to say that it was a Ben Affleck movie that he was in, but also like produced. In fact, I'm starting to wonder, does Ben Affleck just like do these movies? You know, like, okay, Gina, Argo is right. That was another movie, and Ben Affleck was involved in that movie, right? Or am I just making that up? And that was another movie that I, historical reenactment or whatever. I don't know what genre you would even call it, but I've never seen any of those movies. But they've all piqued my interest. I would like to like rent the DVD or whatever. Oh, I should see if Redbox has them now that I think about it. I'm gonna write this down. Argo, Air, and then Mustang versus Shelby. Because there's all sorts of movies I would love to see, and then I forget that I want to see them. So, Triple Frontier when they robbed the drug lords. Oh, that sounds... I don't know. Honestly, Jake, I don't know if I'd want to see that movie. Like, that sounds like a movie that I would just be so tense. I would be so tense. And okay, Gina, Ben Affleck did direct Argo, so I'm not... I mean, I make stuff up all the time. But this time I'm not, so that's good to know. But okay, so wait, Triple Frontier... I don't know if I want to see that one, but I will look into it. And yeah, he stars in Argo too. That much I could remember, because I remember like the poster. Like I think he had a beard, and it was just weird to see him. Yeah, and so Pussycat, Mustang versus Shelby. Tell me more about this movie. Oh, you haven't heard of this? Yeah. So it's basically maybe it's like Ferrari versus. No, I think it's Mustang versus Ferrari. Well, it's about how the Mustang Shelby came to be. And it had something to do with competing against Ferrari and this animosity that Ford had. I haven't seen the movie, so I can't really tell you, but I want to say, come on, you guys, help me here. Somebody, is the movie called Mustang versus Ferrari? I feel like it's called Mustang versus Ferrari. Matt Damon is in it. No, it's Ford versus Ferrari. Of course, that makes sense. FFF. Yeah. Okay. So you've had to have seen that. Blaze and Jake, Ford versus Ferrari. Okay. So, excellent. Ford versus Ferrari. Thank you. That makes so much more sense. And so, and so here we go. Pussycat, if you haven't seen the movie yet, Andre's throwing down the description right there. And it has to do with Le Mans, etc. Okay, you have the movie. Okay, so you're just being a smart Alex. So tell me more about this movie you don't even know the name of. It's what you were doing. You were baiting me, and I've got it hook, line, and sinker. All right then, and then Batman's Christian Bale is in it. Okay, I wouldn't know that, but good to know. Good to know. Okay, so do I have Ford versus Ferrari? All right, I've got Ford versus Ferrari written down too, so now I know what to look for. So yeah, because those movies are more. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I'm just not into movies that are CGI oriented, where the special effects are the only reason why people are coming to see it. The special effects override the plot, override the acting, and so it's just not really, it's not my shtick. So movies like the Mustang versus Shelby. Okay, maybe not a movie like that. I know, Pussycat, I feel silly now. But movie like Ford versus Ferrari, or the Argo movie, or all these other things, way more interesting to me personally than say. And yeah, I've thrown this movie under the bus so many times, but I don't care. I'm doing it again. More like than say Aquaman, which was. Aquaman has to be one of the worst movies ever flippin' made in this lifetime, in my lifetime. In the lifetime of cinema, Aquaman has to be one of the worst movies ever made. All right, there. I said it, and I'll probably say it again. So, so while I'm busy laughing at myself, why don't we, and let's see here, Andre, I thought I would have said The Matrix, because of the heavy CGI. I've never seen The Matrix. I have no desire to see the Matrix. Part of the reason why I have no desire to see The Matrix is because, yeah, as what, so, never seen The Matrix. And Pussycat, Ford versus Ferrari is a pretty long movie. It took you 2 times to watch it. Oh, that's good to know. And you guys, speaking of long movies, or speaking of movies, we got a cache of movies sent to us by Elaine this weekend. Next week on Statterbox at the Cinema, we're going to be watching a movie she sent called The Ride. It came out in 2003. It's an independent film that got a lot of, it was perhaps the most successful screening at the 2003 Hawaii International Film Festival. So it's a Hawaiian-made movie, and it is about, it's a historical fiction, obviously, because it's about this guy in modern times. He's a little cocky surfer who gets knocked out and sent back to 1911, I believe. 1911 Hawaii, meets the one and only Duke and his peers. And so I don't know what shenanigans unravel, but that's what we will be watching next week. And we've got some background insight because Elaine, her family, yes indeedy, they were extras in this movie. This is a little screenshot from a scene where her family can be seen as extras in the movie. And so I believe Elaine's got a couple stories from that film shoot. And so we'll get to hear a little bit about that, which is kind of exciting. But yes, The Ride is what we're going to be watching next Saturday. And so Jake, I don't know if you've ever hung out at Statterbox at the Cinema, but every Saturday night at 6 p.m. West Coast time, I show a movie of some random moviness. And so this Saturday we'll be showing The Ride. So if you want to come join us, 9 p.m. your time, I believe. And actually, I usually start the movie 15 minutes after the hour. So I start streaming at 6. The movie starts 6:15. Your time, obviously, 9 p.m. So 9:15. And I know it's a Saturday night, everybody's busy, but if you're around doing nothing, boop-a-doop, that is what we'll be watching on Twitch on Saturday. But we don't just have that. We've also got some serious classics that Elaine sent to us because I've never seen either of these movies, either of them. And I've been told that this one is a must-see. And so we'll be watching this one eventually one day soon-ish. This one, on the other hand, Gone with the Wind, is almost 4 hours long. And so this one, I want to have a little talk with you guys about how we want to do this, or if we even want to do this. I'm thinking it's going to be, if we're interested in watching Gone with the Wind. I mean, I'm interested because I've never seen it, so I'll watch it regardless of what you guys say. But if we're interested in doing Gone with the Wind, I would probably prefer to do it over 2 weeks. On the other hand, over 2 weeks, it's disjointed. It just might ruin the whole flow. And so, right, so there you go, Pussycat. Frankly, you don't give a damn. Andre, I don't like that movie. See, we might not want to watch this movie to begin with. It's really long. It's super old. And when I say it's super old, I mean in both creation, intention, content, and any other implication you might come up with. It's full of that. I'm only curious in watching it. Well, actually, Shock, I don't mean it's super racist because I don't know. I have not seen it. But yes, I'm assuming that is the case because that's basically what I've heard. And so, and Gina, it is a product of its own time. Precisely. Andre, though, coming in, and the first time a black woman to win an Academy Award, but she couldn't even go get it, but she did get one, which is good. And so, let's see here. Blaze and Jake, do a Djibouti Dub style review. I don't know who Djibouti Dubs is, but I love review react videos, so let me write them down. But yeah, this is definitely of questionable content in regards to if we want to watch it. Like I said, I want to see it for the reason why it's kind of good to know your Bible stories. It's just a lot of cultural reference points come from this thing. So that's the only reason why I would want to check it out, because I haven't seen it yet. But it sounds like you guys are just like, we don't really need to do that. And I respect that. Absolutely respect that. But if, for whatever reason, you all get a bee in your bonnet and you're like, I want to watch this, we can talk about whether or not we want to watch it all at once or in 2 segments. And Andre, you need to see it to see how wrong it is. Yeah, exactly. Please understand, my advocacy for watching this film is coming purely from, I have never seen it before. The moment I watch this movie, I might rewatch this stream and cringe and die and erase this whole conversation so we will never think it happened. Because I might realize no one ever needs to see that movie. Or whatever. I don't know. Because I've never seen it. But it sounds like this one is perhaps on the docket, and it is a regularly lengthed movie, so we don't have to worry too much about that. And yeah, Puzzy, I do know enough to know it's about the Civil War. That much I do know. And yes, Macola T, that is correct. I've never seen Gone with the Wind. I've read some of the book, but it was a little hard to read. So, so you know. And Pussycat, nobody likes it. Got it. Okay. Wait, hold on. Okay, so Andre, but I have seen it. I hate it. Like, I hate Shirley Temple, the Littlest Rebel, where Shirley is a little Confederate. Okay, yeah, I don't remember. I'm sure I've seen that movie, because when I was a kid, I loved Shirley Temple, but, I definitely don't remember that. And let's see here. Okay, so Elaine, though, going back to the movie we want to see. Elaine, your daughter and son went to open call. The director selected them to pair as a couple in the village. Ha ha ha. Yeah, that's kind of awkward. But during preparing scenes, you can only see son's arm, daughter and girl cousins. Got it. So we only saw your son's arm in this picture, or in this scene, we could only see the arm. Gotcha. But this is the cousin and the daughter. Got it. Okay. There we have it, Rabbit. And, let's see here. Boop. And Pussycat, your mom was named after Shirley Temple. That is so cute. Was she a fan of the drink, Shirley Temple's? And if she was a fan of the drink, Shirley Temple's, how did she make her Shirley Temple? Because the way we drink them now is not the original recipe. Just so you know. Cindy Krause. You wonder if I can find the original Wizard of Oz. I think I might actually have it in my cupboard already. So, I'm going to check. When we take our Lono listening break, I will give it a look-see to see, because I'm 97% sure I've got Wizard of Oz in my collection. Because you see, when I used to have cable TV, and I would flip through the channels looking for something to watch, and I would go through the movie channels, there was a couple movies that the hard, steadfast rule was, if this movie comes on while you're flipping channels, you put the remote down, you watch this movie, commercials and all, never to change a channel again. And those two movies are Dazed and Confused and The Wizard of Oz. I'm a complicated person. And so, so let's see here. Gone with the Wind is based on the Civil War times. Feminists don't like it, but great acting and situations. Yeah, it's the movie took like 10 years to make. I mean, it's sort of it's just a Hollywood legendary production, so if nothing else, I'd kind of like to see bits for that, but so you guys, so you're not no one's biting on the whole Shirley Temple bit. Well, check this out. Shirley Temples these days are generally made with grenadine and 7-Up, except for here's the deal. 7-Up didn't exist back when Shirley Temple was a little kid. It was ginger ale that it was made with. And it wasn't made with grenadine, it was made with the liquid that the maraschino cherries were soaked in. So Shirley Temples are a little bit different now than they actually started out to be. And another fun fact, the daughter of Shirley Temple was the drummer for a very influential grunge band called the Melvins, based out of Olympia, Washington. And so Shirley Temple might have been famous for her black and white films as a young child, tap dancing, etc., but her daughter made her own name in the industry, the music industry, banging some drums for a grunge band. And there you have it, Rabbit. And Jake, I knew you were gonna react to that. I knew you liked the Melvins. I knew you did. I don't know how I knew, because I don't know you, but I feel like I know you. And I knew you're like, yes, Melvins. But yeah, Melvins, definitely not a band for everyone, but some of their albums are so flippin' amazing, and we'll just leave it at that. All right, so what we're gonna do here is we're gonna take a Lono listening break so I can go check my DVD closet to see if I do have Wizard of Oz. And I would like to remind you guys that even though we were just talking about the Melvins, this is not the Melvins. This is Lono, and he sounds nothing like the Melvins.
Okay, back. Cool. Riding on the old Jack, waving on local speed limit. We know like go fast, we go ekahe, elua, ekoloe, ha. Slow it down, brother. This ain't the mainland. Riding in the old Jack, way below the local speed limit. We know like go fast, we go ekahe, elua, ekoloe, ha. It's small, but it's just enough. Now we play la ekahe, elua, ekoloe, ha. All that luxury condos, brother. This ain't the mainland. We're putting up the little grass shack. It's small, but it's just enough. Now we plan la ao, e kahe, e lua, e kolu, e a. Ain't the mainland. Shaka, 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 shaka. Shaka, 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 shaka. Na olelo o Hawaii, na huna o Hawaii, na mele o Hawaii, Noah, Gabby, Johnny, Candy. Ooh, yeah. Na olelo o Hawaii, na huna o Hawaii, na mele o Hawaii, Noah, Gabby, Johnny, Candy. Okay, these you ain't skip it. Cow Street. Oh, sorry.
All right, there we have it. And yes, you are right, Jake. Buzz Osborne and Lono do kind of have the same hair, only I think Buzz's grows more out and Lono's grows more down. I mean, they both have a little bit of the out for sure, but Buzz's, I think, is a little bit more oofed than oofed, whereas Lono's is oofed, not so poofed, because that makes no sense, but there we go. That's... Jake knows what I'm talking about. So even though nobody but me and Jake probably know what I'm talking about, that's okay. That's okay, because one thing that we can all talk about that I've asked for folks to do, and you don't have to, but some people do it so much that I end up with more than one. And here is one, or another one. C. Honda sent another drop. I've already shown you one. Now I'm going to show you the second one that she sent. If you guys want to ever send me a drop, I can't promise that I'm going to make you look pretty or fancy the way Andy Bumatai does. I have learned a little bit more about video editing, so I might be able to, but probably not. But here we go. Here's C. Honda and her drop for this Chatter with Statter show.
Oh, another boring day in paradise. I better make sure to watch Chatter with Statter with Mad Statter. She'll be on Wednesday and Sunday for that. Mahalo.
I don't have my stream deck right now, so everything's more complicated. Yeah, so that was C. Honda. And if you ever want to do something like that, just throw down the horizontal videos, not the verticals, the horizontals, and just say who you are and that you like to watch or whatever it is you want to say, and send them my way. My email, as you might know, madstatter@gmail.com. All one word. Very easy to remember. So yeah, madstatter@gmail.com, and send me those videos, and I'll show them. I'll show them off. And also, you don't have to necessarily do a video. You don't have to do a drop. You don't necessarily even have to do a drop that has you in it. Hey Yamamoto-san, so good to see you. We are just talking about doing drops for Chatter with Statter. C Honda just sent me a couple weeks ago, and so I'm showing them off one at a time. And unlike the ones that C Honda did show off, which featured her lovely presence, you don't have to show yourself. You can, just do a little voiceover. You can pretend your animal is talking to the camera. You can do whatever you want. You can chase a bumblebee through the yard, and and just say what you want to say, and then we'll show it off. So, and actually, it doesn't even have to be a drop, as you guys might have noticed. C Honda, Piccola T. I'm sure there are people that I'm totally forgetting, so I apologize for that. But Piccola T and C Honda for sure, they have provided us with Rick and Darlene also might be people I'm referring to here. I cannot believe those people were not the first people out of my mouth. So, Rick and Darlene, C Honda, and Piccola T, all of whom have been more than generous with random footage of random stuff that they are seeing in their days, and they're sharing it with us to be shared on on Chatter with Statter. So if you're ever somewhere and you're just like, hey, here's, a little video of my downtown, waterfront, or here's a little picture of a stream running through this town, or look at this pretty bridge that I saw one town yonder. By all means, send them off. As long as it's okay for me to show them, I am super stoked to have them. And if it's not okay for me to show them, let me know. Because if you send them to me, I'm going to assume it's okay to show them. But yeah, it doesn't even have to be a drop. But Blaze and Jake, if you want to send a drop, I'd be super stoked. You want to just, send some pictures or video of the Miami scenescape, which is so different than where I'm from, by all means do so. Any type of content, good or bad, is acceptable here, because if you've been here from the beginning and you remember the first 2 years of the show, i.e. until now, we've all been about putting it out to show, even if it's not public, or even if it's not perfect. The strive for perfection is what sometimes keeps you from actually producing. And so this is a channel that celebrates first attempts, learning attempts, producing while you're learning, which is why, some of the videos that I've got, like this one video that I'm probably maybe going to show you later today that I made a year ago. It was made after my trip to Oahu, so maybe like 11 months ago, and it featured some of my most high-tech video editing skills that a year ago were super impressive for what I knew at that time. And now, looking back, it's like, ooh, I could have, should have, and I almost want to go and redo it, but it's like, no, work is, what's done is done. And so, you're not going to go redo the work, but when you learn more, you realize, oh, this could be better, but that's okay. It doesn't matter, because we're not here to have the perfection. We're here to show the journey. Everybody gets better as they do stuff. And so, if you're not a video producer, a video maker, a videographer, but you still have some video that you want to get out there, send it my way. It's okay. It's okay to be a beginner, because you can't be an advancer unless you were a beginner. And so I want to celebrate the attempts, even if they're failed, the attempts of stuff. And so that is my mandate to all y'all, is to just get out there and do stuff. And then if you want to show it off, come show it off, because that's why we're here. And yeah, exactly, Jake. The lots of cool art stuff that you could show off. totally. That was kind of exactly what I was thinking. It was like, even if you don't want to show your face, which, by the way, cute face, you should show it. But even if you didn't want to show it, you've got plenty of stuff out in your area that we do not have in our areas. So yeah, video what you want. And Cindy, random info, you found a SU wait friend to take to take the chicken. Oh, you found a sucker, huh? You found a sucker to take your chicken. So a little happy dance. Yeah, well, you know, honey, you're the one who wrote those Hawaiian words in your shed. So don't be surprised if more chickens get attracted to the aina that you have created in your shed or your kitchen or whatever it was that attracted that that chicken in the first place. And Elaine, exactly. Forget broadcast quality. Natural and simple is great. That's exactly it. You know, and I've learned how to do some stabilizations, and I've learned how to do some color correcting, and I can do some stuff. I mean, not a lot, but I can, I can rub off some dust and grime off of the, I can't say I can polish the video that you give me, but I can rub off some dust and some grime, maybe run it under some water and make it look a little cleaner. Andy's got the professional broadcast quality skills, but I can do a little bit with it, and even just doing a little bit sometimes helps. And let's see here. I'm maybe gonna share a video of you practicing a thing, ABD stuff, and tomorrow doing a hobby thing at a library tomorrow. Whatever you feel comfortable with, we are waiting with open arms, and if it's never gonna happen, that's okay, man. That's okay. We're all good here because, dude, it's all about when you're ready to do stuff. It took a long time for me to get out of my skin and my fear. Being a person of size, there's a lot of stigma around larger bodies, and so hiding my body was definitely a priority for the vast majority of my life. And even showing a picture of my full body online wasn't something that I was able to do until I met the Daily Pidgin Live Hamma Jane gang, and finally I got the nerve to post my very first full body picture on the internet ever. It happened literally, 2.5 years ago or whatever. Thanks to Andy Pidgin's Daily Pidgin Live. Andy Pidgin. God dang it, I hate it when I call him that. And thanks to Andy Boomatai's Daily Pidgin Live. And so, as a 50-year-old, I can tell, well, I'm not 50 yet, but whatever. My first full body picture posted on the internet was not until I was like, 47? So, the name of the game, my friends, is take your own time, your own pace, but when you're ready, we are here. And so let's see here. Andre, yeah, okay, exactly, Andre. Mad Statter will give a blast of compressed air to get all the surface dust off of it. Yeah, and then probably ruin some of it in the meantime, but and Cindy Krause, if another one shows up, you'll find a cage or chicken holding place. Having one in the garage is pretty messy. Yeah, well, maybe you should just build a spare coop, my friend. Start collecting them. And, yeah, Andy Pidgin, I've said it a few times, Pussycat, Andre, it's, I feel so silly when it happens, but you can see how it happens, right? I mean, you can see, right? And let's see here. Awesome, Gina. Okay, cool. So you've been doing this other hobby for like 3 years, and you posted 2 small vids on Luke's Discord after I changed the strings on your ukulele. Awesome. See, yeah, at your own pace, and you're already taking little steps to show the videos of the stuffs. That makes me super stoked. And let's see here. Oh no, shock. Someone call your spouse to tell him to put the doggy out. I don't know your spouse's phone number, otherwise I will. Oh wait, he doesn't have a cell phone. I could yell really loud in my microphone. Do you want to turn up your volume so I can say, Mr. Shock, take the dog out, Mr. Shock. And let's see here. Elaine, Polynesian women have been slim during teenage, but after 30s or kids, they bloom. Do I have any Polynesian genes? No, Elaine, I would love to say that I did, but I am actually just about as white as they get. I think my 23andMe DNA is like 96% from the European area, mostly located in the UK. I think the most exotic, and I truly do mean this, the most exotic bloodline that they identified in my 23andMe came from Switzerland. Now, I'm not suggesting that Switzerland is exotic, but it was the only line of genes that weren't UK based. And so I guess what I'm saying is I am so white that even my exotic genes are even whiter than my white genes, as I guess is what I'm saying. I mean, it just it's really there's a reason why my skin is see-through. See, these are not faded tattoos, you guys. These are veins. There's a reason why my skin is see-through. It's really embarrassing. And I know exactly, Andre. Switzerland is one of the whitest countries in Europe. That's what I'm saying is, you know you're white when your exotic genes are even whiter than your regular genes. That's how white I am. And I don't mean that in a like a, you know, there's connotations when people start bragging about that. I'm not going down that road. That's not what I mean. I'm making fun of it, actually. Only Finland, really? Okay. Well, where's PBB Bang when we need him? Yes, I got the Viking blood, without a doubt. And yeah, we saw Hallie, even Hallie when you say Hallie. Yeah, it's embarrassing, actually, is what it is. Because I really would like to think that. I just don't understand. My sister, like, when my sister gets tan, she literally gets mistaken for someone who is, like, maybe half Samoan or something, right? And so it's like, what I really don't understand is how my sister is my sister, and how I am me, and how we just, I mean, she's got black eyes. She's got dark brown curly hair. Her skin is just golden brown when it, you know, and it takes her like 2 seconds to get tan. Whereas I have to go through the 1970s style. Okay, I got to get my base burn on at the beginning of the summer, and then I'll build my tolerance to the sun up. You know, because in the 70s, don't you remember doing that? You had to get your base burn, the first burn of the summer, and then you could tan accordingly after the first burn. That's how I always did it. I'm not saying that's how you should do it. I'm just saying I'm a child of the 70s and 80s, and that's how we did it back then. Devin, your skin is also clear. You thought it was because you were 7 weeks early and you needed to bake a little longer. That is a really good idea, only to counter your thought, I came out 3 weeks late. So maybe my mom's oven was just on a little too low. Your mom's oven was on a little too hot. I don't know. And Andre, no, she hasn't taken a DNA test, and I really want her to, because she clearly has a set of genes that did not make it into me. And so I want to know the bigger picture here, because I'm only part of the story, and she has clearly got the other part of the story. And so I really am curious about how I turned into a pink person and she turned into a person who can tan. So yeah, that's the oh woe is me story. I have to burn before I can tan. And which is part of the reason why I know that I'm probably not Polynesian. That and the blood work. You know. And let's see here. Oh yeah, Andre, imagine all the secrets in some families that get revealed after a DNA test. For certain. In fact, actually, to tell you the truth, I would, except for the fact that my sister and me and all of the women of the, well, actually not just women, but like, okay, my dad's side of the family has a very unique, I call it the Davis palsy. We have a way of when we're really relaxed, our one side of our face droops. And if I didn't know better, I would swear my sister, the only reason, actually what I'm trying to say is the only reason why I am fairly certain my sister belongs to my dad, because otherwise I would just be like, dude, my mom clearly, I mean, not trying to disparage my mom's name, but like the difference between my sister and I has definitely made me wonder. I mean, we know we have the same mom, so that leads to the next person. And I have to wonder, like, do we have the same dads? And the reason why I do think we actually have the same dad is because we both have the Davis family palsy. Both of us have that stupid relaxing of our half of our face. And so you can see it in pictures of her, you can see it in pictures of me. If you know what you're looking for, you can see it. And so I do, I'm even though I have totally wondered, like, is this really my dad? Or is this really her dad? I do actually think it really is really her dad, because we all have that side of the family, what I call a palsy, which I don't really know if it is a palsy, but that's what I call it, the Davis palsy. And no, I'm not a Kardashian. Sealed. No, I wish I was, though. I wish I was like the, 1/10 of Kardashian. Does that give me like 1/10 of their money? And let's see here. Shock, a friend just found her birth family on Ancestry and met with them last week. Wow, that's intense, dude. But I'm sure she's not the only one who's made that journey due to the technology available to us now. And Elaine, you had freckles, unlike Asians. You thought if you got tanned enough, your freckles will blend in, but all it did was get darker and looked like mud splashed all over you. Oh no. Well, though, I mean, I'm sure back when you were trying to tan to even out the freckles, you were bummed. But nowadays, you might have noticed, freckles is like the newest thing. Like, people put on freckles every day, like with makeup. Having freckles, and yeah, Andre, I've met Asians with freckles too. Obviously, there's some genetic quirk there. But regardless, like, people are actually adding freckles to their face these days. Having freckles is actually like a desired trait that people use makeup to recreate these days. And so, nowadays, you would probably be all like, instead of covering them, if you were a teenager, you'd just be like, that's right, I got myself some natural freckles. Oh, y'all gotta paint yours on. Mine for real, yo. You be fake. I be real. That's what you be doing. And Pussycat, you did the research and found that I have only 16 relatives in the world with your last name. Wow, that is crazy. I have a friend who, in the United States, can verifiably say everybody in the United States who has his last name, he is either spawned from or father of. Like his I think there's only like 7 people in the United States that have his last name, and he's, oh yeah, I'm related to every last one of those, and and 4 of them are my kids. And so but his last name is much more popular in Greece, and so he doesn't have a claim to fame like you do. I'm assuming, Pussycat, that these are now, are these people you've actually met? Because if there was only 16, I'd almost feel like I would need to reach out to every single one of them. That seems like a doable task. And And right, exactly, Shock. Young people pay good money to get their hair to look like yours. And by the way, for those of you who don't know what Shock looks like, she's got herself some streaky silver blonde hair. And kids pay crazy good money to get silvery streaked blonde hair, or just blonde streaked silver hair. Getting silver hair is ridiculously difficult from a hair dye point of view. You basically have to remove all of the color and then retone back in the proper highlights, the proper purples and blues, etc., to bring that gray color, the silver color back. And the upkeep is expensive, the initial cost is expensive, and it is like the hottest trend right now for kids to have gray hair, and it's super expensive. People pay good money just to look like glamorous Shock. That's right. And let's see here. And Andre, you're like, yeah, you're the last of your family with your name. There might be a few in Canada, a couple more in France. Got it. And so Puzzycat, okay, so 12 are in the US. Your aunts and uncles have kids, so you know those ones. It's the other, right. Really, no blonde? Because on the TV screen, it looks very blonde and silver to me. But okay, either way, lots of money, no doubt. So your son is the last remaining male with your name. So he's the last scion, as it were. He's the one who's got to carry on the family name, if he's got kids, that is. My family name will probably never die out. It's, I think, like the 6th most common Anglo-Saxon last name in the country. I think it's like the 7th most common name in the United States. I have no doubt in my mind that Davis, that name's not going anywhere anytime soon. And it looks like we have got Terry in Scotland here coming in with rating with 3 people. That is super awesome. Terry, right now we're talking about how kids are dyeing their hair gray and spending dang good money on it. We're talking about freckles and how people are actually drawing them on their face these days. And we're talking about rare last names. My last name is not rare at all, but Puzzycat's last name only has 16 people in the whole world that have that last name, which is pretty rare. And let's see here. We have got Wayashaka. Hello, how you doing on YouTube? I'm not sure if you came in. Oh, no, wait, you're on YouTube. You couldn't have come in with Terry. Terry's coming in on Twitch. Well, hey there, Wayachaka. I'm glad to see you here. I am Mad Statter. This is Chatter with Statter. And we're sitting here talking about random stuff. Right now, we're talking about rare last names. Carl in Arkansas. Good to see you coming in with Terry, I assume, because you and Terry are 2 peas in a pod. And C Honda here. Oh, hey, you guys. All right, seeing C Honda's name reminds me of this. And some folks came in later than this announcement was made. So, for those of you who are on the stream today who like to hang out with Andy Boomatai on Daily Pidgin Live, tomorrow, Monday, there will be no Daily Pidgin live stream. Andy is sick, and so hopefully he'll be good enough on Tuesday to have the show back, but Monday, June 5th, there will not be a show. See, Honda came in to let us know earlier, and now I'm passing the word along for those of us who came in a little bit later. And so, let's see here. And Puzzy Ford, JTU Tex. Puzzy Ford, nice. And, okay, so what have we got going on here other than Shock going in with the Sword of No Mercy, banning Kevin? Thank you so much. I feel like Kevin's been banned before. So let's see here. Devin, your brother's wife found out her father was not her biological father, so they are getting to know each other. It's pretty cool. Nice. Yeah, from 23andMe. Yeah, I figured it was something like that. And you know, like I was hypothesizing earlier, I wonder if my dad is my sister's dad. I mean, I think she is, but I kind of wonder. All right, Washaki, you are in Alabama, USA. Well, I'm up here in Seattle, Washington, but we've got folks joining us from Scotland and from Hawaii and from Florida and from Virginia and from Maryland and from Wisconsin and, let's see, California and, I am sure I've forgotten. We've got multiple people from California, actually. Let's see. Well, I can't tell you every place that everywhere's from, but super stoked to have you here. Don't know if you've hung out before, but here on Chatter with Statter, we talk about almost anything, almost everything, except for things that matter. Because chatter, by definition, is just stuff that doesn't matter. So it's fun stuff, it's silly stuff. We oftentimes do talk about food, because even though food matters, it doesn't really matter. So hopefully you can join in the chat and add all sorts of this, that, and the others to whatever it is we're talking about. And yeah, Andre, though, our resident Florida man is Pussycat, sort of, but we've got some another Florida dude here, Blazing Jake Yoga. There's some Florida people too, so we've got two Florida. We have two Florida men in our channel right now. Is there gonna be a street fight? Florida man versus Florida man on Chatter with Statter. Oh no, I didn't realize. Is it dangerous? Is it dangerous to have two Florida men in one chat stream? Oh no. Well, we're gonna risk the danger, because that's what we're all about. We're all about risking the danger of Florida men. That's right, because we're willing to have two Florida men in one live stream. That's right. This Sunday. I don't know what else to say, but I just felt like it was I just felt like I needed to pretend like it was a big controversy. This Sunday. Buy a ticket for the seat, but you'll only need the edge. And there we go. That's my monster truck voice. And speaking of buying a ticket, you guys, if you want to see me on stage emceeing a great comedy show, don't forget Andy Bumatai, James Mane, and Augie T are coming to Renton, Washington for their first ever Continental United States Road Show, August 19th. And I would love it if you guys went to andybumatai.com to get some tickets if you're going to be in the area. If you're not going to be in the area, but you know people who live in the area, let them know about the show too, because 3 different comedians are going to be at this show, all of whom are headline capable. 2 of whom are actually going to headline. The other one, Augie, he's special guest, so he's not going to get as much time, but even if, but he could fill as much time as James and Andy are getting, because literally this is a comedy show of 3 headliner comedy acts. And so for $36, not a bad deal to have a great night out, a couple hours of laughter, beautiful. And let's see here, Pussycat, that's right, you are our Rocket King. That is true. Pussycat gets to see all of the space rockets coming up or not coming up. And Cindy Krause, Augie is the mayor, right? I don't think Augie's the mayor. He is part of the city council, the Honolulu City Council, though. And apparently, now I don't know if this is going to affect him showing up in Renton, but apparently there's a bill in the Hawaii State Legislature or somewhere that they're trying to make it so the Honolulu City Council members aren't allowed to hold any other jobs other than their city council job. And if that passes and it takes effect before the gig, then Augie actually, I guess, won't be able to show up. But A, I don't know if it's going to be passing, and B, I don't know if it'll take effect in that time. But Andy mentioned something in passing on the phone with me the other day about that, and I just feel like it's kind of weird to, like, prohibit another person, prohibit the amount of jobs that very confused about this whole legislature. So definitely, like, don't quote me on this, because I know enough to know I don't know. But that's what I've heard so far, I guess. So I'm hoping Augie will be here, because Augie is super funny. Which is my point. Augie is funny enough that even though he's the opener, he actually could be the headliner. It's just that you've got the two headliners already. So you can't have three headliners. That's just not going to work. It's kind of hard to have two. But luckily, James and Andy, they have an understanding. And Andre, you got to pay them more if you're going to make them only take one job in Hawaii. That's actually another part of the bill, is increasing their pay. Like, I think it's like almost doubling their pay. From like $60,000 a year to like $138,000 or something like that. And while $138,000 is absolutely nothing to sneeze at, frankly, that's not a lot of money in Hawaii, though. I mean, so they're kind of, I have not read the bill. I do not know enough to really comment, but what I heard about it definitely makes me raise an eyebrow. And Gina, I have no doubt that it is a way to prevent conflicts of interest. I'm sure that there is a method to the madness. That being said, it's kind of ironic. It's like, what? He's not allowed to go out of state to be a comedian? That's a little weird. I mean, it's not weird. I think you maybe know what I'm trying to say. It's just kind of a strange prohibition is all. But I'm sure that is the heart of the logic behind it. And Andre, I wonder, does that mean if you cannot own a business and be in politics? Oh, I'm sure there's some kind of legalese, if and or but clause in the wording that acknowledges that. But I would think that they'd still be allowed to, like, own it, even if they don't operate it. I mean, you can't possibly be expected. It's not like you're the president of the flippin' United States, where you're expected to divest yourself from all of your business dealings. You know, I mean, it's no offense, Honolulu City Council, but you're not the president of the flippin' United States, right? I mean, so to prohibit someone from owning a business at that level of politics doesn't seem fair to me. But like I said, I'm totally I really don't know the nuances, so I cannot speak of this. But Elaine coming in, the city council raise was almost double salary, and then they want it as a full-time position, no extras. But that's a serious issue. Right, there you go. Yeah, okay, so maybe, Elaine, I was misunderstanding. So is it city council that's trying to require the city council not to have another job? Or is it the state legislature? For some reason, I had it in my mind it was the state legislature, but on the other hand, why would the state even have a say in that? So I'm very confused. And, Terry in Scotland, Molly for mayor of Renton or White Circle. Well, first off, there is no such thing as White Circle. It's White Center. However, I would love to be mayor of White Center. That would be awesome. And yeah, Puzzy Cat. I know. Yeah. Well, President was supposed to give up his business affairs after he was POTUS, but there were still some questions on how much he really did. But yeah, exactly. Even President Trump pretended to, for a minute, whatever. But the city council's not the president. So, like, really? Are you making that same requirement? And Terry in Scotland, you thought it was White Center, but not sure. No worries. See, Honda, your brain is going exactly where I was about to go, only slightly different. She's saying, how about White Castle? No, I want the White Spot. The White Spot is this hamburger joint. Excuse me. It's this restaurant in British Columbia and Alberta and maybe other provinces of Canada. I'm not sure. But they have the best flippin' hamburgers ever. And as a child, this was the one restaurant that we would always go to whenever we went to Canada. My mom loved this restaurant from the time that she was a child, and she has since, and passed it along to me and my sister. So the White Spot is what that is where I would like to be the mayor of, is the White Spot. And Andre, White Center, not very white and not very central. No. You almost got it there, Andre. No, the logo, the theme of White Center, you will see this on bumper stickers, t-shirts. White Center, not so white, not so centered. Because, well, if you've ever been to White Center, you'll know exactly what I mean by that. So, so let's see here. So Elaine coming in. No, the state committee made the salary raise after study of other cities. But Augie and several councils do not want as high as a high raise. And that's a lot of councilors yearly. Okay. Well, hopefully this won't be worked out by the time August 19th rolls around. And then Augie will be able to come here. That's all I know. That is all I know. Okay, you guys, so we are at the bottom of the hour, plus a little past, and Pussycat coming in at the last minute with food talk, which is definitely going to get my attention. White Castle hamburgers are awesome, and so is their hot cocoa. We don't have White Center on here, so I don't know what their burgers or their cocoa taste like, but I can tell you this. Hot cocoa at a restaurant is almost universally a trillion times better than anything you can make at home. I don't know why. I don't know how, but I am not at all surprised to hear that White Castle has hot cocoa that is to die for. And Terry in Scotland, better the White Spot than the Wet Spot, I guess. Well, now, the Wet Spot, that's a different club, and that's in Seattle. And that kind of club is exactly the kind of club you think it might be. So, and for those of you who aren't sure what kind of club that is, the club's real name is the Center for Sex Positive Education in Seattle. So, you can figure that out. And, uh-oh. Now we've got an argument. Budrick's has, I've never heard of Burdick's, but apparently their hot cocoa is the best. Devin now wants a burger. And Devin, they use whole milk in the cocoa. Oh yeah, whole milk, I'm sure, makes all the difference in the world. So, okay, you guys, here's the deal. I'm going to pass along the names that we came up with for the nonprofit, the Santa Wears Slippers, the Santa Surfs, the Snow Cow, and the Snow Hanahau, et cetera, et cetera. I'm going to pass those on. Next time we see each other might be at Daily Pidgin, but it most likely will be next Saturday when we watch The Ride. And Shock is coming in with a fairly strong argument for why Burdick's in Boston might have the best cocoa, because it's only a chocolate place, it's not a restaurant. Okay, so we might have to all agree, even if we've never been there, we might have to all agree. Look, Burdick's has the best. But I want you guys to come up with your own hot chocolate arguments, and next time we see each other, maybe we can discuss that. In the meantime, oh, Gina. In the meantime, we're going to reevaluate what I just said. Because Gina's coming in with a reality check that's based in this thing called reality. I, for some reason, thought it was Wednesday today. I don't know why. I don't know why. We're going to see each other on Wednesday, 4 p.m. West Coast time. That's when we're going to see each other next. Not Saturday. Because today is Sunday, not Wednesday. So, yeah. Next time is going to be Wednesday, 4 p.m. Wednesday. It's Sunday today. The next time we're going to see each other is Wednesday. Thanks. Thank you. Yeah, exactly. And this is why we have the haha emote right there. That is exactly it. So, point and laugh all you want, because that was a point and laugh moment. And we will see each other on Wednesday, 4 p.m. All right, you guys, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Don't forget, today's Sunday.